Hello and welcome to this presentation regarding the UW Whitewater men's bowling team resources and performance to their peers. My name is Sam Strash and I am a Master of Science and Communications student at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. And as a bowler myself, this topic carries a lot of weight to me, and I'm very excited to discuss with you the information in this presentation. So some background on collegiate bowling first. Collegiate men's bowling is not NCAA recognized. It is a club sport primarily. However, it can be governed by other athletic governing bodies like the NAIA and the NJCAA, which some of you may recognize better as JUCOs or junior colleges. It's a largely self-funded sport on the club side, and while universities can provide limited amounts of funding from student segregated fees on campuses, team dues, fundraisers, sponsors, and other sources of income are often required to operate the team. Yet outside of a few level-specific tournaments per year, teams from these different athletic governing bodies still compete against each other, and there's one big national championship that combines all three of them, which is the USBC Intercollegiate Team Championships that occur during the third week of April every spring. And in 2022, the Warhawks were able to walk away with their first USBC ITC National Championship in program history, defeating a, quote, blue blood, I guess you could consider them, of college bowling in Wichita State University from Kansas. We're also two-time collegiate club national champions, back-to-back, because in 2020 there was no collegiate club national championship tournament due to COVID-19. And in 2019 we defeated UW La Crosse. In 2021 we defeated Adrian College from Michigan for those two national championships, those back-to-back championships. Last season in the final NCBCA, the National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association coaches poll, we were ranked 7th. And currently, at the time of this recording, we are ranked 6th in the USBC points rankings. There's a few studies I'd like to bring to your attention today. Number one being a study involving team cohesion and approaches to adversity. So the researchers Munoz, Vega Diaz, and Gonzalez Garcia described a questionnaire, or issued a questionnaire, I should say, to many different participants in their sample size, and had them self-report that whether their teams had low team cohesion, average team cohesion, or high team cohesion. And the members of teams with average to high team cohesion tended to score better in categories involving social cohesion, like relationship building and becoming friends with your teammates. That's social cohesion. Team spirit, they scored higher in team spirit category. Tension control is another big one. Stress management and self-confidence were also reported higher scores on teams with average to high team cohesion. Another study I'd like to bring to your attention is a study by researchers from a university in China that studied the correlation between team cohesion and mental toughness. Their results, they correlate positively and very strongly with each other. Cohesion and mental toughness are very positively correlated, and by way of harmonious passion and obsessive passion for the team sport that, for the context of this study, a man plays on, for the context of this presentation, I should say, for the team that a man plays for, team cohesion and mental toughness very positively correlated. They're two big aspects of men's bowling from my own experience. Being cohesive as a unit, as a team, and being mentally tough will help you succeed ultimately. And these two concepts are very positively correlated by way of harmonious passion and obsessive passion. So herein lies the problem with the UW Whitewater men's bowling program. We're low on money. We're largely self-funded. So we are able to cover our budget every year. However, we require each athlete to pay $750 to $800 per year in team dues. And that's per athlete as well. This is money coming directly out of the athlete's pockets and going into the program to help fund the program. $750 to $800 to participate. We also do a lot of fundraising with Milwaukee Brewers and Delaware North Concessions, which is the organization that helps run and provide food at the concession stands at American Family Field, where we garnered about $16,000. And sponsors from the Warhawk Open, which is our host tournament every single season, and the UW Whitewater men's bowling golf outing that we host in the spring, roughly the first weekend of May. That raised about $10,500 for this year to cover expenses like hotels, which are $15,000 alone is what we're projecting to spend on hotels this year. Airlines, $6,000 if we go to Las Vegas for the Intercollegiate Team Championships this year. Again, we have to qualify for that first. However, $6,000 in airline fees. Tournament entries are also upwards of $5,000 to $6,000, Uniforms and equipment are upwards of $6,000 plus. Our coaches, we are responsible for paying our coach salaries. $12,400 is approximated for this year. And the USBC sanctioning fee for the team, $910. That leads us to this study by Augie, Danilchuk, and Liebel from our neighbors to the north in Canada, where they conducted a qualitative study in the late 2000s and early 2010s, which is when the global economic recession hit. And their goal was to observe the impact of the recession on Canadian inter-university sports, also known as CIS, which is more or less Canada's NCAA and is now known as U Sports. Their results showed from their qualitative analysis that one school reported major impact from the economic downturn as part of a quote from that study, and two schools reported, quote, moderate recession impact. Again, two schools reporting moderate impact. And the most common issues and concerns in the study involve budget cuts and redrawing of budgets, cutting varsity teams due to lack of funding, a loss in advertising revenue, and a loss of athletic recruiting funds. And this impacts Whitewater directly because Whitewater is known for their recruiting. I've had teammates in the past from California, multiple teammates from Colorado. Again, the pipelines of Wisconsin and Illinois, of course, because we're in Wisconsin and very close to Illinois. But I've also had teammates from Minnesota, Michigan, Virginia. We've had players come from all over the country to partake in this program and to compete. And they still have to pay out of pocket to be here. And they're more than willing to do that, to compete for this program. This pie chart displays the sources of income approximated from the team budget for the 2024-25 season, and they're reflected in percentages. University providing about 10.6%, or roughly $5,762 in our income for this year. Team dues cover 31.6%. 31.6% of our funds come out of the pockets, out of the wallets, however you want to coin the phrase, of the bowlers themselves to fund the team. And fundraisers and other sources of income cover 57.8% of the men's approximated budget for the season. Let's focus primarily on team dues here. Compared to other teams, we've compared them to Wichita State University from Kansas, Mount Mercy University from Iowa, and Marion University of Wisconsin from Fond du Lac, near Oshkosh, Lake Winnebago, that area. Marion is a club team, Mount Mercy is NAIA, and Wichita State is also club. Whitewater pays $750 in team dues. We're just using that value, $750 to $800, depending on a couple other factors that go into this season's budget. Wichita State requires $500 in a program fee. Mount Mercy and Marion pay nothing in team dues. And why is that? I asked questions and gathered some qualitative results from some of the players on these three teams, one player per each team. The player from Marion University in Wisconsin said that they're self-funded, they don't require team dues because they do joint fundraising with other athletics programs at Marion. The player from Mount Mercy University, an NAIA program, said they don't pay team dues. And a direct quote from him, the team has academic and athletic scholarships. Students can get up to $13,000 in athletic scholarships per year as a participant for the men's bowling program at an NAIA program like Mount Mercy. Wichita State, yes, they pay team dues. They pay a $500 program fee. However, they do a lot of fundraisers like their strike-a-thon, bowling ball raffles. They have a lot of sponsors, and their student center, where their bowling alley is housed, the Radigan Student Center, covers much of the team expenses according to their website. There's a few more charts I'd like to describe to you comparing performance metrics. First and foremost, the ITC championships won in the previous decade from these four teams. Whitewater has one ITC championship. Wichita State has 3. Mount Mercy and Marion have 0. The second chart here in the middle, players above field average in 2023-24, this previous season, the field average. Let's take a specific individual game from a tournament, and all the bowlers that bowled that individual game and average it out. That is the field average for that game. Each bowler faces a relatively similar field average to each other bowler on their teams. Some teams have slightly different field averages, but they're all roughly around the same value between 175 and 180. UW-Whitewater had 21 bowlers above the field average last year. Wichita State had 17. Mount Mercy University had 17, and Marion had 11. Lastly, the chart on the right describes player averages of 190 or higher in 2023-24. Whitewater had 12, Wichita State had 17, Mount Mercy University had 13, Marion had 4. So comparing the team dues that are required, the money that's paid out of pocket by each bowler to participate in their respective program, to the performance, there's some kind of significance shown here that there really is no relationship between team dues paid and performance. All these bowlers are ridiculously good at what they do. These are some of the top programs in the nation. Some of them pay team dues. Some of them don't pay a dime to participate, yet they're all still around roughly the same skill level. So to conclude, there's a few main points I'd like to recap. UW Whitewater Men's Bowling is one of the most competitive teams in the nation. UW Whitewater Men's Bowling is at a financial disadvantage compared to other nationally renowned programs, and outside of marginal assistance from the university, the team and its athletes are fully responsible for funding and operating the program. The few studies that I brought up describe the impact that team sports has on relationship building, goal sharing and creation, and mental toughness. And the other study from Canada showed the impact that the lack of financial resources can have on sports organizations. Lastly, but not least, you as a potential sponsor. UW Whitewater Men's Bowling could use your help. If you feel led to become a full-time sponsor for this program, do not be shy to reach out. Kiefer Sullivan is our staff advisor. He works for the university. Brandon Mooney is our head coach. You can find his email on the team website to reach out as a potential sponsor. Feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on the team if you'd like to become a potential sponsor, or a full-time sponsor, I should say, for the Whitewater Men's program. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and bringing your attention towards this cause and this presentation. My name is Sam Strash. Once again, I'm a Master of Science in a Master of Science in Communications at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, and this is my presentation regarding the UW Whitewater Men's Bowling Program resources and performance to its peers. Thank you.